Do you like my moves, baby?
Come back.
Come on. Hey, what's up? How you doing? Ah!
Anniversary! It's not even an anniversary. It's like it's a monumental episode. It is episode 100. It is our centennial episode, and therefore we are celebrating today 100 episodes. If you've been with us from the start, please let us know. That's absolutely insane. We are popping the tiny little champagne bottle for it.
Oh, it's a screw off. That's not very exciting.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just didn't want to buy a huge full bottle.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
Happy 100th episode, everybody. Viva Physical Media has been,
That's for you.
Thank you, on YouTube for 100 episodes. And we want to thank you guys for watching.
Smile
and
for the camera, you fuck.
Supporting us and being there for us on this journey. Back in the beginning, when me and Kevin started Viva Physical Media, we were just very excited to share the news of the show and the store.
Do svidaniya? Wait, not zdrowie.
Yeah, you said that's goodbye.
Same thing.
Goodbye. And we just wanted a space to talk about the store and talk about the movies that we watch and share our love of physical media with you guys. And
That's some good cheap Prosecco.
And I'm pretty sure we've done that. And I'm also so happy that you have climbed on board, Matt, and you have now been here for more episodes than Kevin has. Rich and his magic behind the fucking camera and all the editing he does makes the show
Really makes the show what it is.
Really makes the show what it is. And we just want to thank everyone for watching us and supporting us and for supporting Scarecrow. And I don't know, back when this started, I almost was like, no, I don't want to do anything like this because I've never really been on camera.
Well, I mean, Kevin did talk you into it.
He really did. I've never
here's
really
the
been on
thing.
camera, and I've never really, it was before I did podcasts or anything like that. So this is like kind of my first like little creative baby, and I'm really very, very happy to see us get to episode 100.
Funny story. Maybe you know this story, but when we were first starting to do this show, I was like, I don't want to do it. I think you need, and Kevin's like, that's okay. And I was like, I think you need to get Emalie to do it with you. And he's like, I absolutely agree with you. Like, he wasn't even planning on asking me to do it with him.
Yeah.
He was just like, I want to get Emalie, and that was my idea too. So you were always the reason we wanted to do the show.
Oh. Well, that makes me really happy. And then also like being on Suspense too, and the shift with Kevin and all of that, it all just worked out wonderfully.
Yeah, it turned into a whole thing.
And we're just really happy to be here, and I'm happy to be doing this with you guys. And happy 100th episode. Yay! Don't cry.
I'm okay. I'm fine.
I got a cake that Matt can't eat because that's how well I know him.
It's okay. It's okay. I don't even really like cake. It's okay.
All right. It's symbolic,
Yeah.
you know. 100th episode, we have a lot of fun, kind of different things that we're going to do this episode. But before all that, we should talk about the store a little bit.
Yeah. So you definitely want to go scarecrowvideo.org/membership and check out our new membership tiers. We've streamlined the memberships. We've made them a lot cooler. You get a lot cooler perks.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of good stuff.
$100 a month gets you Sunday 2-for-1. My friend Drew, he just had a baby. He's not getting in on Wednesdays, but he loves the store, and now he's like, Sunday is my new 2-for-1 day. This is just, it's gonna spread the love.
And you know, if you're a $100 member and you have the Sunday 2-for-1 day, you still get the Wednesday 2-for-1. That's for everybody, regardless if you're a member or not. So now there's 2-for-1 days, but you get to double down if you are a $100 annual member.
Double down.
And that's a really great perk. You get discounts on punches. So if you're watching this from, a state where you're doing rent by mail, you get discounts on punches. So your rent by mail is a little bit cheaper that way. That's a great thing to do. The farther you go up in tiers, you get mystery boxes from us.
Ooh.
You get no late fees at the highest tier. It's really incredible. You got to check out the membership program. It's the best way to support Scarecrow other than just coming in and renting a movie.
It's also a great way to celebrate our 100th episode is by becoming a member in honor of your love for Viva Physical Media. We also have like a new pamphlet that Will designed that is like the cutest thing I've ever seen in the
with
world.
The Richard Scarry stuff?
Yeah, the
It's
Richard
so good.
Scarry, like Little People or whatever.
Oh, I love the picture, the main art with like the Scarecrow's
The
building
skyrise that
with,
are just the
with the
shelves.
bookshelves or the video shelves around it. Oh, it's so
I
it's
really
so
like
good.
the flowers that are just DVDs. I'm like, should I get that tattooed maybe?
Ooh, that's
Might
not a
do
terrible
it,
idea.
Might do it. Anyways, check it out. Anything else in the store that we need to talk about?
I think that's the most important thing we need to
Wall's
talk about
still
right now.
down,
Yeah, but we're still open.
but we're still open. So take that, gravity.
Mailbag. Oh, we got some good mailbags this time.
We've been doing mailbags
Episode
for 100 years. 100 years of mailbags. Yeah, dust it off, shake it out.
We have 3 mailbags. One we missed last time from our good friend Troy, so
Our
we'll
bad.
get that one out of the way first.
Okay,
Do you want me to read all of these, or do you want to do some?
I'll read one.
Do you want to start?
Sure.
All right, you go first.
Hi crew, I was in Madison, Wisconsin recently, great town, and after 3 days, like an hour before heading out, I finally thought to Google video store to see if there was a place in Madison where one can be close to some physical media. And it turns out there was a place, and it was 1 block from my hotel, 4-star video. They have a cozy spot in the University District. That's funny.
It's great. The irony.
The irony. And a very nice volunteer told me a little about the store, which has been around since the 80s before I purchased a surf movie for later home viewing. And you're not even going to tell us what movie. Whatever. And
Maybe it was called a surf movie.
check out who is representing on their wall of stickers.
He sent us some photos, but we don't have them printed out.
Can I also add a question? Of course. When borrowing a boutique Eurocrime or Giallo, for example, I often am asked which version of a film I want to see. International? Italian? American? Recently, I wasn't sure which version of Vanishing Point to choose. Do you have a reliable source or website that can help in making the determination of which is the best version to watch? I'm just Googling for now. Best Troy and SF.
That is an excellent question, Troy. Googling is indeed your only real option.
Like finding a thread on Reddit
Finding
or
a
something.
thread on Reddit, yeah, like just to get some idea of what may or may not be different, especially with something like Vanishing Point, where the changes are relatively minor.
Yeah.
There might be like some extra nudity.
I just asked
something
Matt.
like that. Yeah, you could just ask me.
IMDb sometimes has.
We'll have like an alternate versions tab, yeah. But those can be like, hit and miss.
Exactly.
Just like any source you're gonna find. Wikipedia will sometimes have that information for you, specifically regarding like Giallo or Eurocrime or anything that you're getting in along those lines. That's a case-by-case basis thing, in my opinion. That's like, is it significantly longer? Maybe you want to watch the longer version. If you're worried about like dubbed or not dubbed, I tend to go, especially with Eurocrime and Giallo or things like that, spaghetti westerns, I tend to always go with dubs because in making those movies, everybody was dubbed. There were Italian, Spanish, German, American speakers, and they all spoke their own language, and then everybody was dubbed for different markets. So there really is no original track. Sometimes if like the cast is predominantly from one country, I may stick with like a dub and like deal with, some American actor speaking Italian, but mostly I stick with the English dubs. So yeah, unfortunately Googling is kind of the best way to go. There isn't going to be a really natural resource for you to figure out what is the sort of best way to watch one of those things. Also, I find that if you are ever in a situation where you are like, there's a theatrical cut and a director's cut, I always start with the theatrical cut. I start with what came out and see how I feel about it.
That's like something that I also struggle with because I feel like for a while I was like dead set on like have to always watch the director's cut.
Yeah.
Like director. But then even in the past like 5 or 10 years, I've been more like, well, sometimes even the director likes the theatrical cut better. You know what I mean?
You never know what's going to happen. I always think it's good to see what came out and what people saw and,
as it was,
and track that and sort of see how I feel about it. If I want to go further, maybe I'll check out the director's cut. But starting with the version that was the revised version, I think is never a great idea. You should always just start at the ground, move your way up.
Start with what came out. Yeah. Cool. Well, thanks, Troy.
Thanks, Troy.
Sorry we missed
your letter last time. Next letter is from Patrick. Hi, guys.
Hey.
2 years ago, I was planning my move from Washington, D.C. to Seattle. I used to live in Washington, D.C. as well.
Wow.
Luckily, I was familiar with Scarecrow thanks to your video program and made sure my new place was walking distance to Scarecrow.
Oh my God.
Excellent work, Patrick. Great job. A few hundred rentals later, and here I am thanking you all for exposing me to so many movies. By the way, when's the next video store day? My body is ready.
It's in October.
I'm
always.
glad your body is ready because mine's kind of not. Let me just look at my calendar really quickly. We'll go to October. I believe it is October the 18th.
Okay.
That should be a Saturday. It is usually the third Saturday in October. So it should be October the 18th, and rest assured, we will be doing something fun here at Scarecrow.
Yes, can't wait. Always a great time.
Do you want to do the last one?
Sure.
Will's?
To whichever of you wonderful dorks this concerns, congrats on reaching 100 episodes of Viva.
Yeah, you're welcome.
This is our buddy Will, by the way. Kev's surely looking down from heaven right now and feeling proud of how his legacy has been upheld,
He's looking up from hell.
if not honestly improved upon, and in no small measure at that. My question is, what are some goals for episode 200? Screw it. How about episode 500? Will we even still be alive then, or will physical media effectively rule the world in an all too apt conclusion to the would-be dominance of the human race? Also, while I have you, can someone finally explain to me how crypto works? Thanks in advance, Goss. We love you, Will.
I can't help you with crypto, but I can tell you that by the time we get to episode 500, it's going to be like THX 1138, where you just go into your pod and you're like, because you have to live with Donald Pleasance and the only alternative is like future pills and watching whatever's on the screen instead of the face that gives you orders, it's going to be Viva.
It's
Yeah.
gonna be like that Black Mirror episode where he's forced to watch the
Yeah.
commercials.
The ads and stuff.
Viva
I'm gonna
will have taken
carry-
over the earth and
I'm
we will
carrying
be in
every
charge.
episode of Viva in my fingertips, and every time I see someone, I'm going to lightly touch them on the forehead, and they're going to have already seen it, liked, and subscribed. And I'm really excited for that.
Exactly.
Future
Speaking
looks
of
bright.
liking and subscribing, smash
Fucking
that
do
like
that.
button
We'll
right
wait.
now. Do it. Do it.
Thanks, Will. And thanks for everyone who gave us a mailbag. If you'd like to write us, we would love to hear from you.
So much.
Viva@scarecrow.com or 5030 Roosevelt Way, Northeast, Seattle, Washington, 98105. Let us know what you've been watching. Let us know some of your movie goals. Let us know memories of Scarecrow, what you love about our show.
Send us pictures of your pets.
Pictures of your pets, pictures of your collection, Rapid Rex recommendations. For $100, you get some Rapid Rex.
You know, somebody asked me lately or recently if for a certain amount of money, we would be willing to go in and look at their Letterboxd profile.
Their specific letterbox?
Look at their Letterboxd profile, get an idea from that of things that they like, and then generate recommendations from
Okay,
that
so that's what that means.
for them.
I would do that.
I would do that. We need to.
That's work.
It is work, and we need to collab about how much money that's going to cost you. It's not. It's going to be more than $100. I'll tell you that much.
You have to look at your letterbox and analyze it.
Yeah.
I would do that too.
It
but
sounds
we
like a great idea,
we
but it's
would
gonna
wanna-
cost you.
Yeah, because that's more than just shouting out a genre. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But we'll do that.
Yeah. Give me that grip.
We'll talk.
We'll talk about it.
We'll talk money.
We'll talk about it.
You do the
maybe in
money
a couple. Maybe in a couple episodes, we'll have some plans about that.
You know what'd be funny?
No.
If I did one with your letterbox and you did one with mine. But we've already, you've seen so many things.
Yeah, but that'd be really interesting to see what you think I would like.
Maybe we'll do that. There's, the next 100 we got.
Know each other well enough. You don't need to look at your letterbox.
I know.
Yeah.
What am I doing?
Also like the 90% chance you're like, you should check out this one. Saw it, didn't like it.
Yeah.
I know. Well, the next 100 episodes, I mean, the next 10 episodes or whatever, we'll figure out some new stuff.
We'll come up with
to-
some fun stuff to do.
Women in prison films here.
Yeah, really? Wow. He really likes that. Anyway, that was a tremendous mailbag.
All right, for our first special segment of our 100th episode, we are going to be
not that funny.
hosting. We are going to be hosting the Viva 100 Awards.
The Viva 100 episode Award Show Spectacular!
This is a great idea.
Thank you. We are going to be giving awards out to some of the movies we've talked about over the past 100 episodes or roundabouts there for you.
Unfortunately, we don't have funny statues or anything because this is a pretty fly-by-night
I
operation.
know. But maybe we'll do it in another 50 episodes or
You get an empty bottle of Rainier.
Yeah, right?
The award for favorite overall pick goes to...
My favorite overall pick, the thing that I feel like was a really good discovery, was a really good choice, was the kind of thing that I like to highlight on this show, was a movie called Positive ID. This was a really interesting sort of mid-'80s rape revenge movie that ends up going in a totally different direction than you sort of expect from these.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. And I'd seen it before we did the show, and this is one of the first movies I covered on this show because I was still sort of struggling to work out my schedule of how do I discover movies in time to talk about them on the show. So this was one that I did deliberately because I'd already seen it and liked it. But it's a terrific film. It's the kind of thing that I love to highlight.
Yeah.
Have you seen this?
I don't know. It seems like something I would have seen.
You're gonna like
but
this.
But if I haven't, I kind of want to check it out.
You should check it out for sure.
Positive ID, it gets the award for Matt's favorite pick.
How did it feel?
How did that feel? Did you like that?
My favorite pick for the Viva 100 Awards is a tie. I kind of did ties for most of these because I couldn't choose, you guys. 100 episodes, you kidding me? All right, so my my winners for favorite pick is a tie between Morven Collar and Hysterical Blindness. Both of these are very, I feel like, representative of the kind of movies that I really enjoy finding and talking about on this show. They both are very stories about women going through shit and the relationships, especially with like best friendships and living in a small town that can't really hold them, you know what I mean? Morven Collar, I did on episode 75, Hysterical Blindness, episode 60. These are two of my favorites. I had not watched these before the show, and these are definitely very representative of me, I think. So
this one is, Morven Collar is my favorite of all of your picks because
Yeah.
I just love that movie so much, and I'm
man,
so
we
glad that you
should've-
got to discover it.
we should have done that favorite
Ooh,
picks.
well, we can
if
do
I
that
think
another
of
time.
some, I'll think of it, but
You're
yeah.
gonna go for 200.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Put the IDs in the bank.
And the award for favorite unexpected discovery goes to...
I had to go with G.I. Samurai. An absolutely bonkers movie that I can't believe I waited 25 years to see after working here. Like, how did I go through all of the Japan martial arts Sonny Chiba stuff over the decades and somehow never watch this thing? If you don't remember from watching the episode in which I discussed it, it's about a platoon of Japanese soldiers who go back in time to feudal period Japan and end up involved in a war between two factions. There's bows and arrows and guys on horseback versus tanks and boats and helicopters and machine guns.
Yeah, I added this to my list.
And that
for
is
sure.
only the last like hour of it. The first hour and a half is this miserable dissection of how half of the troops hate it in the past and the other half of the troops hate it in the future, so they want to stay. It's really bleak and weird, and the action at the end is completely fucking insane. You got to see G.I. Samurai.
Dreaming this day's gonna come. The dreams are my deepest hopes. So now.
And my pick for unexpected discovery is Scorchy. This was really, really fun. What I remember loving most about this movie was all the old Seattle location shooting and the crazy car chases, like under by the viaduct and stuff like that. And it's just
They're going like through Post Alley.
Yeah.
it's insane. If you're from Seattle or if you've lived in Seattle, you should check this out. It's really, really fun. It's also just like a really fun kind of like crime thriller of the time.
Frank, do you think you could handle a Canadian dog this early in the morning?
My runner-up that I couldn't find the box for right away was Lois Gibbs and the Love Canal.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
I feel like that kind of opened me up to rediscovering my love for like whistleblower biopics and very kind of lifetime TV dramas about real women making change.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like OG Aaron Brockovich
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, stuff like that. And that was something that I don't know if I would have come across if I hadn't been like looking for stuff to watch for the show.
And the award for favorite dog movie goes to...
Favorite dog movie. Now, okay.
Matt, let's be fucking real.
Set it up.
Let's be fucking real here.
If I'm being real, the best dog movie that has been covered on Viva Physical Media is, of course, Bingo.
Bingo.
Maybe the greatest dog movie that ever existed.
Yes.
I love this movie. I would never have encountered it if it weren't for this show.
because we screened it at the Beacon for a
If
sold-out
someone
crowd.
showed you that Blu-ray and said you should see this, you would say fuck you.
I would be like, I'll get around to it. You guys did it on the show, and you also weren't like crazy enthusiastic about it when you did it on the show. There was like, this was fun with caveats.
We had actually watched this. The first time we had watched this was one of the Lost episodes. So the first like 3 episodes that we recorded,
they didn't work
out. And it was this and my dog Skip, I believe. And so I actually had watched this a second time for the actual show that you can find, going back on the YouTube, and then a third time for when we programmed it for the Beacon, which is where Matt encountered it.
I had never seen it before. It had always been the kind of thing that like,
and what a perfect place
that
to
looks
encounter
dumb.
that.
But yeah, I watched it at the Beacon, at a sold-out screening at the Beacon to see this movie, and it was one of the most glorious theatrical experiences of my life.
It was so much fun to see this with a crowd.
I laughed so hard. Like the last 30 minutes of it, I was so tired from laughing that anything was funny. I love this movie with all my heart. So yes, Bingo is in fact the best movie we've ever covered.
Speaking of the Beacon, also, we didn't cover this at the top, but make sure you mark your calendars, grab your tickets, they're on sale now. July 5th, Saturday, 7 p.m. We will be hosting a screening of The Hitcher, the beautiful new 4K, in celebration of our 100th episode. If you want to come hang out with us and say hi, watch an amazing movie, and maybe get some beers afterwards, show up.
We'll be there.
How do you like Shitsville?
All right, what's your real pick?
My real pick. So my favorite movie that we've covered on Viva That's a Dog Movie is Cave of the Yellow Dog. Which is sort of like a meta documentary about this Mongolian family of nomads. They're just living their life, farming, raising their children. It's mostly just sort of documentary style, following the family through their lives. But then there's a narrative kind of inserted into the story about one of the children finding this dog and how that dog relates to a sort of local folktale. And it's this very simple story about this family and how they live their lives and what the conditions of their lives are, and how, and just sort of the nuts and bolts of them, like subsistence living. And then there's this beautiful story about a little kid and a cute little puppy. Yeah. It's really, really wonderful. It's only like 80 minutes.
That's an underrated, great fucking dog movie we've done.
It's so good, and I feel like anybody who likes movies will love it. It's sort of quintessentially boiled down like pure cinema.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. You have to see Cave of the Yellow Dog.
My awards for favorite dog movie, I agree with Matt that Bingo is definitely the all-across winner, but because it was...
Bingo is our patron saint.
Yeah, basically.
Right.
Because it's such a given, I decided to continue
I
on.
couldn't pick it because I wasn't the host.
Yeah. And I'm not going to pick it just because we give it so much airtime. I feel like we talk about it. Also, shout out, this is not one of the best dog movies, but shout out and please include a video of the bulldog eating spaghetti from The Dogfather. Very important. Yeah. Also one of our patron saints. What I am picking to give the award of favorite dog movie to is Snoopy Come Home.
Excellent choice.
A great choice. And, before we covered this for Viva, yeah, I know. I had watched some of the Snoopy movies when I was younger, didn't really remember them, or I remember them kind of as one, amorphous, just one Snoopy movie. But watching this and just seeing the characters and their existential ennui and...
Go directly to jail. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Good grief.
Fucking Snoopy and him trying to find his place and just how sad it was, how heartwarming it was. It's just such a good fucking story. Yeah. So iconic. And No Dogs Allowed.
No dogs allowed. No dogs allowed. No dogs allowed.
It was absolutely wonderful. So I'm thinking that is going to be my favorite dog movie award with a runner-up, a double runner-up, because God,
That's so many.
to Hotel for Dogs and Los Reyes. We watch a lot of shitty dog movies, but there are these stars, and I think it's important to highlight them. So
I agree.
Forget it, kid.
The award for least favorite dog movie goes to...
My pick for the worst dog movie we covered, I think you're going to agree with me on this one.
it is also my pick.
Doggone Love.
Doggone Love.
This is the movie where the guy pretends to be gay because he's writing a book.
And he needs it to have a little more pizzazz.
Needs an edge. It needs more flair.
Yeah.
This is a shout out to Sophia, a person who watches our show.
She
a
suggested
fan of our
that for us.
show. We
Yeah.
love her so much.
And
we
her
love
cat Maverick, yeah.
And she sent us a copy of this movie because she saw it at a thrift store and she didn't know. She had no idea.
No, and that's not her fault.
I don't think it's bad.
It's
I
not.
think that's awesome.
No, it's not her fault, and that's what's cool.
We
is
want
like
to thank you, Sophia.
we would never have encountered this.
Yeah.
We're having a really great time. Listen, I know I said I'd be home by midnight. It looks like it's gonna be around 1-ish. But the portions were huge, and I have a great big doggy bag full of goodies with your name on it.
This movie where this guy pretends to be gay.
He's writing
write
some
a
kind
book,
of book.
but also like to fall in love.
Yeah, he's
and there
like,
is a dog.
Well,
but
because there's the
pretty
woman who
inconsequential.
thinks he's gay and he likes her, and she's only hanging out with him because she thinks he's harmless.
Yeah.
You know? Oh God. And the dog's barely in it.
And I watched to refresh my memory about this because I remembered it being really bad, but I didn't really remember because I just don't hold that shit in my brain like we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
But I went to, this is episode 64. I went to 64 and I watched our review of it, and like the movie starts out with like the dog having like a dream about like making love to another dog in the bed and stuff. It's like there are some dog things, but then that quickly falls apart to this weird pretending to be gay plot that only the early 2000s could provide.
It's rough.
Come on. Give me the ball. Point, big boy. Check it. Let's go. Play. Chuck's in the zone.
Do you think I look gay?
Any runners up? I had a runner up. Hellhounds, the one where it's like the Roman soldiers or the Greek soldiers.
Yeah, that one
with
was
Ricky
really
Schroeder.
bad.
And didn't he like direct it or something?
I hope not.
But anyway, they like, and then they
Wait, I
like,
think he did.
They go into hell to like rescue a
my
woman,
God, I
and there's this
deleted that from my
crappy
brain.
CGI devil dog. Yeah, it's fucking.
I
It
forgot
sucked.
about that one.
But I looked at the list that we have on Letterboxd that you sent me, and because my initial choice, like instinctively, was Hellhounds, but I had forgotten about Doggone Love.
so bad.
And I looked through the list, I was like, right, yes,
Yeah.
it has to be this one.
Yeah, my runner-up is Millionaire Dogs, which you weren't around for, but is absolutely terrible cartoon dog movie about rich dogs. It sounds like it'd be fun, it's really bad. If you guys want to check out all the dog movies we've covered, I do have a Letterboxd list called Just the Dogs Viva, I think. We'll link that below so you can decide for yourself what your favorite and least favorite dog movie are.
Stephen was quite the stud. All the girls loved him. I was the only cheerleader he didn't bang like a drum.
The award for favorite rom goes to...
My favorite rom that I've done over all of this was one of the very first ones I did. This movie, Just Like Heaven.
Lost and lonely you.
Oh, yeah.
With Reese Witherspoon and Mark Ruffalo.
I just want you out of my house.
You get out!
Rest in peace.
Oh, I'm not leaving.
And I just remember being really delighted by it, even though it sort of hits all the notes you expect it to and is sort of a bit conventional. There was enough novel about it and enough good performances that I thought it was really good, and it got me really enthusiastic about the Raunch versus Rom project. And then my enthusiasm has waned over time.
You're chasing the Just Like Heaven.
I know, it's not the fault of the project, it's the fault of my choices. Here's the thing about this. The Raunch versus Rom is intrinsically unbalanced.
Yes.
Because everybody likes to hear about Malibu Bikini Shop 3, and nobody wants to hear about While You Were Sleeping. But everybody likes titties and bad, tasteless jokes.
It's true.
You know what I mean? Like, so I'm always at a disadvantage.
I'm sorry that I said you're dead. Maybe you're not dead. Maybe you're just very light.
The award for favorite raunch goes to...
And my award goes to, and you guys have watched a lot of shitty movies. My award goes to Hollywood Hot Tubs. It's just such a good raunch. It's only on VHS. The cover is an illustrated cover featuring nudity. It's about young entrepreneurs, which we love to see in raunch movies. There's a bunch of nudity. There's a bunch of hijinks. It was just one that I enjoyed. I gave it like a 3.5 or something, which for this project is a lot.
Heavy, yeah.
And this is like if you're looking for a raunch like an 80s sex comedy, you cannot go wrong with
Raunch
Hollywood.
sex com.
Hot tubs. Also like 80s Hollywood on film. It's just like, we love to see it. Yeah. So Hollywood hot tubs, my favorite raunch.
Hey, I'll take jail. Okay, let me just warn you. You're not black, you're not brown, and you don't belong to any gang. Now, you'd last just about as long down there as vanilla ice cream in hell. Hell, your booty wouldn't be safe for 5 minutes, sweetie. Those butt slammers would just love you.
Speaking of Raunch versus Rom, you still have votes to
Oh yeah,
cast.
it's been a while, but we do need you guys to vote for the Rom versus Rom so that we can career opportunities
versus no small affair.
So please vote for Rom versus Rom.
Rom versus Rom.
And then I believe not this next episode, but the episode after, we will be back with a new Raunch versus Rom, and we'll tell you guys the winners.
Episode 102. So not next week, but the week after.
Yeah. And so those were the Viva 100 awards. If you guys have favorites in any of those categories, your favorite pick, unexpected discovery, dog movie, least favorite dog movie, Raunch or Rom, let us know your winners in the comments. We'd love to hear it. That was really fun.
Terrific. That was a great idea. I love doing that.
Yeah. Our last segment for episode 100 of Viva Physical Media is something I'm calling 100 Days of Being Alive.
A segment that's called 100 Days of Being Alive.
So I thought it would be a fun idea to look up what movies came out 100 days after we each were born, and then do with that information what we will. So Matt, you can go ahead first. And
Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, say what you kind of did with the prompt.
Okay, so I was born on November 2nd, 1978. 100 days out from that was February 10th. The closest opening weekend of that was Friday, the day before, February 9th. And on that day, February 9th, 1979, 5 movies came out. One of these movies I have not seen, and it is called Agatha, and it stars Dustin Hoffman and Vanessa Redgrave, and I believe she plays Agatha Christie, and it involves a real-life period in which she disappeared mysteriously for 11 days.
Typical Agatha Christie move.
It's directed by Michael Apted. I have not seen it. I did not have the chance to watch it for this show. And so my pledge to you, audience members, is that for episode 102, so not next week's, but the following week's, I will talk about the movie Agatha on that show, good or bad. The other 4 movies are quite the gaggle. We start with Bob Clark, director of Porky's, his very good Sherlock Holmes movie, Murder by Decree, starring Christopher Plummer
When
as
you guys
Sherlock
talk
Holmes.
about Bob Clark, are you always like the director of Porky's?
I mean, a lot of the time.
Because I go with director of Black Christmas.
What about we also director of Christmas Story?
That's true, but I'm just wondering like what Bob Clark we like,
What
go
Bob Clark is
to.
closest to your heart?
Right, exactly.
Maybe we should all start saying Bob Clark, director of Rhinestone.
I think we should do Bob Clark, director of Death Dream.
Fair enough. Also a great film.
So good.
Like a man who has made some very bad movies.
He has a very
and
wide,
some very, very good movies.
Yeah.
I would say that Murder by Decree is one of his good ones.
Here's to Bob Clark.
Another movie that came out on February 9th, 1979, Robert Altman's inscrutable and notorious science fiction thriller drama quintet, starring Paul Newman, about a bunch of people who live in a frozen wasteland and play a ridiculous dice game. I don't think there is a single person alive, even the most diehard Robert Altman fan, that thinks this movie is coherent and good.
I've never even thought about
Now,
that.
there are plenty of people who think it's interesting and weird and worth checking out, but I don't think anybody truly believes that it's great.
And if you're one of those people, please let us know.
Yeah, let us know. We've also got Paul Schrader's Hardcore.
So good.
George C. Scott, my God, that's my daughter. He's watching the porno with his daughter in it. I mean, what are you going to do? It's fucking George C. Scott. It's you know, the football hits him in the groin, and he has to watch his daughter in a porno. And finally, the truly great movie that came out on February 9th, 1979, The fucking Warriors. So you can see why I didn't sort of hone in on one movie to talk about, because there's an embarrassment of riches on this day.
Yeah, wow.
And culminating in one of, the great genre films of all time.
Lucky you at 3.5 months old.
I know, right? My parents didn't take me to see The Warriors, unfortunately. They should have. They might as well have, considering how I turned out. Anyway, those are what came out 100 days after Maddie was born.
Amazing. I love it. I'm excited for you to watch Agatha and let us know how it is.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
I was born December 25th, 1989, so the closest box office release day was April 6, 1990. So the movies that came out April 6, 1990 that I'm not going to talk about, but I also will how about I do it at Pledge too? We can do that for 102.
Do it.
Because this movie I've been meaning to watch, and you guys know this as well if you've been watching, is The Cook, the Thief, His Wife, and Her Lover.
Oh shit! You have to do it.
So I'm gonna watch it for 102. I'm gonna watch it for 102.
Jesus.
And then Crybaby came out, which we all
Tremendous.
love.
We all love Crybaby.
A movie called I Love You to Death.
Oh yeah, with Kevin Kline, directed by Lawrence Kasdan.
Good?
Yeah, it's good. It's funny. Tracy Ullman, William Hurt, Keanu Reeves.
The First Power.
Yeah.
Lou Diamond Phillips versus Satan.
Yeah.
Sick.
Has a scene where the bad guy attacks people with a ceiling fan that he's ripped off the ceiling.
Jesus, why didn't I watch that one?
Great, fall, like stunt.
Yeah, really good stunt fall.
And a movie I almost watched for this, but I didn't end up watching. Ernest Goes to Jail.
Never seen it. I've never seen a single Ernest movie, people.
Oh, yeah, we talked about this. Yeah. Okay, I'll watch Cook, Thief, Wife, Lover next for 102.
Yeah.
But the movie I did choose just randomly out of these that I hadn't seen is Impulse, directed by Sandra Locke.
We did this one on SICU before you were a host on SICU.
Before I was born? Before
you were born.
On the podcast?
Yeah.
I watched Impulse for this. It's a very solid 90s crime thriller starring Teresa Russell.
Pull around there and park. I got a room.
You got a room?
She goes undercover as a sex worker.
No! I need some help! I need some help!
Up against the gun!
Who kind of has trouble reconciling her career and what she needs to do in order to take down the bad guys with her own sexual fantasies of losing control and kind of outside the box sexual needs and wants as a woman in 1990.
Sometimes working vice. Strangers. Maybe they look at you. Feel all that power over them.
She falls in love with Detective Jeff Fahey, who has his own ideas of what a woman should be like,
Tell me what happened that night. Huh?
What happened?
And she finds herself at the scene of a big drug pin's murder and becomes the #1 suspect through a chain of different events. It's a very by-the-books thriller. It's not as sleazy or as kind of psychologically twisty as I kind of like my 90s thrillers, especially like Vice, LAPD, that kind of thing. This was good. This was like a solid entry into the early 90s crime thrillers. And Teresa Russell, incredible to watch. And Sandra Locke, very competent director.
Yeah.
So this was a cool thing to kind of knock off my list.
That was an incredible 100th episode.
Was so good. I feel like that was super fun.
Yes.
I feel like it gave us a good mixture of looking back on the stuff we've done and also diving into some new things that we haven't enjoyed yet.
I loved it. I'm very happy that we made it this far.
Me too.
You've made it so much farther.
I've made it super far.
Further?
Further.
Whatever. Anyway,
I'm not here for that.
This is your 100th episode. It's only my 56th episode.
But you're here for 100th. And you know what? Beforehand, you were like our biggest fan.
It's
you know
true.
what I mean?
I did watch every single episode.
So this is as much yours as it is anyone's.
100p, 100.
100p, 100, 100. And
thank you for watching.
So
thank you for joining us every week and spending time with us and with Scarecrow.
Thanks for supporting Scarecrow.
Us. We love you. We need you.
Donate to our store at the link below.
Get a membership,
Get a
rent some movies,
membership.
rent by mail, send us mail, send us money, send us presents, send us cards.
well wishes and good vibes.
And we'll see you.
We'll see you in the next 100, baby.
On the next Hundo. 101 next week.
Cheers again.
Bye.
Gotta go poopy.
I gotta go poopy.
Stop.
I gotta go big poopy.
Big poopy.
Little poopy.